Oh, hello. Thank you for joining us. Come a little closer. Allow me to regale you with a story. The year was 1976. It was a cool December morning, a Wednesday if I'm not mistaken. The venue, Makati Medical Center, where my beautiful mother opened her legs and
Wait, stop. What?
You said make cuento to the camera.
What about the car?
Oh. Okay, take two. It is by no means a secret that the new Ford Ranger is, well, just basically right around the corner. In fact, the Blue Oval has been teasing it for months now, slowly revealing the spec sheet of the pickup that's to come, and it's all over the internet. However, before the new model arrives, the current models are actually presenting themselves as great deals. They are nearing the end of their model life cycle, so Ford has actually given them a couple of upgrades that make them more attractive than ever. Now, here at AutoDeal, we love data. We live off that stuff. And the numbers show that the average price of an automobile purchased on our platform is around 1.2 to 1.3 million Philippine pesos. So you're looking at a base model Civic or even a Ford Territory top of the line. And you might think that the options for something bigger are slim. So to that, Ford says, hey, wait a minute. Now, with that in mind, let's take a gander, shall we, at the 2022 Ford Ranger XLT and see indeed if it still is a great bargain or if you should wait for the new model to arrive. Do you need help purchasing your car insurance? Head on over to AutoDeal.com.ph/car-insurance. Here, you can compare prices and customize your insurance coverage from many of the Philippines' top providers. When you've selected the insurance that's best for you, simply fill out the application and complete the transaction with ease through Visa, MasterCard, GCash, GrabPay, or PayPal, and receive your policy within the next business day. Get the best deal on insurance with AutoDeal. It's a classic Ford Ranger on the outside. And when I say classic, I don't mean boomer, okay? I actually mean timeless. For instance, the front clip is very strong with the grille design of the Wildtrak. It may not have the orange nostrils of its bigger brother, but the blackout grille does wonders for the pickup truck, especially in this diffused silver color. You do get halogen projector headlights, but it isn't much of an issue as the throw and cut truly are great. Now moving on down the side, it's actually very clean lines. Ford, however, has given this pickup truck a black set of wheels which works well. It's still the same design as the older version of the XLT, but the black does really something to make it pop out against the curves and body lines of the Ranger. The back of the Ranger is pretty much the same as the previous version. You still get the Ranger logo at the rear and the XLT badge at the back. While you don't get anything fancy like LED taillights, the halogens really work fine. It does come with a chrome bumper which works well to complement the rest of the car. You get nice analog gauges with a digital trip computer. Tall air vents in the middle, easy to use climate controls, which I like, a good number of USB ports, which is always good, and ergonomic buttons. You also get buttons on the steering wheel for your audio controls and for cruise control as well. And then there's also the 6-speaker sound system, which sounds pretty good. The audio system is balanced, but could use a bit more mid-range, because the bass seems to be prioritized even with a bit of tuning to help brighten up the sound profile. Overall, the interior is truthfully pretty good actually, even if it's a mid-entry level vehicle. Storage space, however, well, can be a bit of an issue as there isn't much inside the vehicle. There are bottle holders at the front that can take big bottles, like even jacks, but at the rear, well, they're better suited for slimmer ones, truthfully. Now, while the seating material is actually cloth, the bolstering is actually pretty darn good. It doesn't feel tiring to drive the car, even on long drives, because the suspension is well tuned. And truthfully, when you're on the road, it doesn't feel like it's a perpetual workhorse vehicle. Unlike the pickup trucks of the past, where you'd load it with cement, wood, and God knows what, they didn't really care about the suspension or the passengers. Now pickup trucks, truthfully, are, well, they're lifestyle vehicles, and they act like it. And when I say lifestyle, what I mean is that, well, pickup trucks today need to serve a wider range of purposes than what they previously used to. For instance, the bed of a pickup truck. Not really the best thing when it comes to food, when you're taking things, let's say, for example, from one house to another. You know, when you go to a party and whatnot, because, well, it'll spill everything. But great for kids when you want to take them out camping every once in a while and put the bikes in the back. I mean, you can't get that space in a crossover. If you can find a crossover where you can fit an entire bike without disassembling it, let me know, because so far there isn't one. Ground clearance. Whether you're going over potholes or floods inside the city, the ground clearance of this vehicle is going to give you peace of mind all the time. There is a trade-off, obviously, that it does have a little bit of body roll when you take it out into the mountainous roads, the tarmac, so to speak. But then again, there's also a quick fix to that. You could change the springs and lower it a little bit. But then that would defeat the purpose of a pickup truck, wouldn't it? Yeah, it kind of would. Space on the interior is absolutely great. It's a very large vehicle. You get bang for your buck in terms of real estate. However, because of its size, you'd hope that you'd have more technology to be able to help you maneuver around inside the city. For instance, it doesn't have a reverse camera. For a car of this size, you'd expect it. But then again, there's the quick fix. You can get aftermarket parts and get yourself a camera yourself. I know it's kind of sucky that it doesn't come with it, but again, what I'm saying is that there are solutions to maintain its lifestyle quality. As to with the bed that I was explaining earlier, if you wanted to put more sensitive items in the back, you could just get a cover, couldn't you? In terms of tech, although it does lack a reverse camera, as I mentioned, it actually is pretty okay. It's pretty well equipped. For instance, it has an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system that has Android and Apple capabilities, which is extremely important to buyers nowadays. I mean, some people won't even look at an automobile if it doesn't have that. The second thing that I like about it is that it's got cruise control. For me, cruise control is extremely important because whether it's a pickup truck or not, you will eventually have it on the highway, and trust me, cruise control is always going to be a great thing. Now, void of a reverse camera, true, yes, at the very least, there are backup sensors, so there's that. So I'll be completely honest and say yes, it does not have a reverse camera. It's got cloth seats, and it's not a bi-turbo. It's not the most powerful in its class. Truth is, I'd probably go ape if this were, let's say, 1.8, 1.9 million Philippine pesos. But it's not. It's 1,330,000 Philippine pesos, and at that price, it serves a greater purpose than cars in the exact same price range. Let's say, for example, the Territory. You can't do what you can do with this pickup truck inside the Territory. No way, no how. Tell you what, if your budget truly is 1.3 million Philippine pesos, do you guys have any other suggestions on what other people could get with that money? If you do, let us know in the comments below. And speaking of power, let's go for a drive and revisit what the Ranger is like. Yeah, it's this was it. Just to refresh your memory, underneath the hood is your 2.2-liter diesel turbo mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, it's not as powerful as the 2-liter bi-turbo, but it's plenty sufficient enough. It does produce 158 horses and 385 newton meters of torque. Now, to be honest with you, yes, it's not the sharpest knife that Ford has in terms of engines, but it's plenty efficient enough in the sense that in heavy traffic, and I do mean heavy traffic, like pre-pandemic welcome to Manila traffic, it was doing roughly about 7.8 kilometers per liter. On the highway, and yet still with a little bit of traffic, I don't know what's going on these days, it was able to do better than 17 kilometers per liter. So, truthfully, devoid of any power that you might expect from it, that from the other variants that you have out there, fuel efficient wise, it's still good. The power, however, that comes in a little bit later than you'd expect, in the sense that when you floor it, here, I'll do it right now, I'll floor it, and then it finally kicks in. It was just strange that it took, it's not an eternity, but it took a while for something to actually happen. It's a little bit dull, really. The truth is the sweet spot of the transmission and the engine put together, obviously, is about third gear. That's when you can really feel all the torque and the horsepower really kick in. So it's actually a good place to be because power does come in pretty early. So when you're going at low speeds and you need power because, let's say, for example, you've got the back loaded, it can get through the rough roads and the farms at a slow pace, and the power is there. And then when you're on the highway and you're at cruising speeds, as we are right now, if you need to kick in, when you floor it, it will return to third gear or the sweet spot rather, and then be able to get you to overtake and maneuver what it is that you need to get through. So truthfully, if you don't expect it to act like a Formula One automobile, then yeah, it's pretty darn good. The suspension, I gotta admit, okay, I did say that it is tuned a little closer to be a lifestyle vehicle so that it doesn't necessarily just feel like a workhorse all the time. I meant that, yes, but just try to remember that when you get this automobile, you are still in a ladder frame automobile. It's not the Territory. So that's the difference in the price, or rather the money that you're spending. 1.3 for both automobiles, but you do get a crossover in the sense of in the Territory. This is, I said it already, a ladder frame. So what I'm trying to get at is it still can get rough and tough on you. It still has that feeling when you're driving. It's a little bit bouncy and you know it's sturdy. After all, it does have the DNA of the Raptor. That's the younger or elder brother, depending on how you look at it. You guys remember what we did with the Raptor, right? Boy, my wife surely remembers it.
Jordan! Jordan!
So it's got that. It's still got some rough and tough in it. It's not all, you know, puppies and rainbows kind of a thing. The trade up, however, is that, well, this can do something that there is no way that the Territory will ever come close to, which is have a payload capacity of over 800 kilos. The one thing that I think is pretty cool about Ford vehicles, especially the much larger ones, is just exactly how light the steering wheel is. It's not like a toy. You don't feel disconnected from the road either, but it's light in a sense that the last thing that you will ever feel taxed about is turning the wheel even on long drives. It's not too heavy, it's not too light. It's like Goldilocks, finding the right kind of light. The right kind of light. K-Light. I used to work there. So the big question is, with the new model coming out and we know it's coming out this year, 2022, with a few things missing here and there, does the Ranger XLT present itself with good value for money? Aw, the food's cold. Aww. Anyway, this current Ranger model, the 2022 Ranger XLT, it presents itself as an automobile that has creature comforts and at the same time can be a workhorse. So it's a jack of all trades, to be honest with you. It can do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. The question we asked, however, earlier is, should you wait for the new Ranger that's obviously going to come out soon? Sure, you can, but do expect a huge price bump because of all the technologies and the fact that it's a brand new automobile. Speaking of price, we did mention that it is 1,330,000 Philippine pesos, but if you shop on AutoDeal.com.ph right now, you could get as much as a 125,000 peso discount on this particular model itself. So value for money proposition? Dude, yes! Don't waste my time.